Yes.
We are in the middle of a series here at GeekTheoCast.
Yes, I love this series. It is my childhood. I get so excited when I think about this series because, this is our childhood, bro. This is our
Yeah,
this is our childhood. Um, and
yeah.
it's called
So,
the '90s. Duh.
uh, I
Duh.
heard I saw a thing the other day, and it said people today talking about the 90s is just like people in the 90s talking about the
Oh,
60s.
don't. Oh,
And I was
come
like,
on.
yeah, right. And then I thought, and I was like,
No,
holy
no, it's true.
cow.
It's true. It's
I was like, no. Oh my word. I'm so old.
Uh, yeah,
You're
you are,
welcome.
but I'm gonna leave that one alone. Because you have a daughter and a wife. I don't have any of that, so I'm still young. But
You're still a young gun.
I'm still
Young
young.
whippersnapper.
Young
All
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
right, let's dive into this.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Geek Theocast. I'm Steven.
And I'm Jason. And in case you didn't know, this week we're diving into the themes of courage and compassion as we see in three classic 90s movies.
Yep.
We're talking about Home Alone, Jurassic Park, and Mrs. Doubtfire. Obviously, we're gonna unpack how these films, despite their genres, reflect values and how they align with our biblical teachings.
Courage and compassion might seem like two very different ideas, but they often work hand in hand. Let's start talking about one of my favorite all-time Christmas movies, Home Alone. It's a holiday classic.
One of the greatest of all times. Yeah.
It's full of both.
So we know, yeah, and it was so good that not many movies can say this, but even the sequel was pretty good.
I like the sequel
Most
better than the
movies,
first one.
when the sequels, yeah, and there's actually quite a few people that are like that. Um, I'll take the original, but yeah, the sequel was way up there. Ooh. All right. Well, Home Alone, as we know, tells the story of Kevin McCallister, a young boy who is accidentally left behind when his family goes on vacation. Believe it or not, he didn't have a cell phone. That's
No.
the problem. Yeah. Anyways, despite the initial fear and loneliness, Kevin shows remarkable courage in facing the burglars who try to break into his home. His courage isn't just about setting traps, even though that's pretty funny to watch him. It's about standing up to fear and taking responsibility even when he's scared.
Exactly. Kevin's courage is a great example of the biblical principle found in Joshua 1:9. And here's the funny thing. In Joshua, this verse is repeated 3 different times. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Even though Kevin feels alone, he finds the strength and within himself to protect his home.
Yeah. Yeah. Beyond courage, Home Alone also highlights the importance of family and reconciliation because by the end of the film, his experience has helped him appreciate his family even more. And we see this moment of compassion when he reunites with them. It's such a heartwarming moment, heartwarming scene when they get home. You know, his mom runs in and he gives him a big hug, but he realizes how important his family really is to him, even though they left him behind. But anyways, this reflects the value of forgiveness and love. As we know, Ephesians 4:32 says, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ forgave you." I feel like we read that last week,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah.
can you tell it's important if we're going to highlight that verse a couple of weeks? Means we might
It's
want
like,
to pay attention to
yeah.
that.
It's a reminder that courage often leads us to a deeper compassion. Kevin's journey is not just about facing fear, but also about learning to value the people around him. We see that in both movies. We see that with, the old lady in Home Alone 2 who's homeless. We see that with the old man
with the birds.
who salts the ground and everybody's scared of him. Heck, we even see that in Richie Rich with his friends. He values the people that's around him. Kevin McCallister is definitely one of those characters that he's a giant jerk. But it's super cool to see him learn how to value the people around him.
Yeah, that's good. Moving on, we're going to look at another classic movie, Jurassic Park. This is where you cue the music. Da na 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 na. When I was in junior high, we totally played John Williams, a medley of John Williams scores, and this was on there, and I just never forgot it. Anyways, Jurassic Park. It's a film that might seem like it's about compassion at first glance, but it has more to offer beneath the surface. Of course, the story centers around the wonders and dangers of bringing dinosaurs back to life, but it's also about the courage to face the unknown and the compassion to care for others, even when it's difficult.
One of the key moments in the film is when Dr. Alan Grant, who starts off as someone who's reluctant to be around children, shows courage and compassion by protecting Lex and Tim from the dinosaurs. This is a profound shift in his character, illustrating growth in both courage and empathy.
Yeah, which of course aligns with the biblical concept of protecting and caring for others. Psalm 82:3 says, "Defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed." You know, his journey is a reflection of how courage can lead us to a deeper sense of responsibility and care for others.
Jurassic Park also presents a moral lesson of the importance of respecting life and the natural order. The lack of compassion and reverence for the power of creation leads to chaos, reminding us of the wisdom in Proverbs 12:10. The righteous care for the needs of their animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel. It's a powerful message about stewardship and the consequences of our actions. This is not to say that PETA is right. It's not. Meat is a good thing.
Absolutely.
And Jason,
Yes.
This is what you were talking about a second ago. Oh, sorry, hold on.
I cannot approve of this.
No, wait, where is it?
Yes.
That's what you were talking about.
Absolutely. And I will say real quick before we move on, I saw a thing, it's been a while, where they talked about how they found like dinosaur DNA, and a lot of people were like, no, we've seen the movies, I don't care. When science fiction becomes reality, no, we don't want that. It's hilarious because it was some report where they're like, yeah, we found dinosaur DNA. And that was my first thought. I've seen the movies, no. And then I was seeing other people's reactions and they were saying the same thing. This movie is fiction. Please don't make it fact, okay? Like, let's keep it that way. No. Okay? No. Lord, please, no. Don't let anyone get that idea, okay?
Yeah.
On a happier note, we're going to look at Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams. A film that masterfully blends humor with deep emotional themes of love, family, and compassion. The story follows Daniel Hillard, who disguises himself as a nanny, an old nanny, to stay close to his children after a difficult divorce.
You're talking about Mrs. Doubtfire, right?
Yeah.
This one? Hold on.
Doubtfire, dear? Mrs. Doubtfire.
That Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yes.
Or
Robin Williams.
something like that. Sorry. I love my little buttons. They're fun. Daniel's journey is filled with the moments of courage as he goes to great lengths to be there for his kids. He disguises himself as Mrs. Doubtfire is a testament to his love and dedication, even though it's unconventional to say the least. This reflects the kind of sacrificial love described in John 15:13. No greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend.
Yeah. The film also emphasizes compassion, not just from Daniel, but from the other characters as well. And finally, by the end of the movie, there's a recognition of the importance of forgiveness and understanding within a family relationship. Paul wrote in Colossians, he said, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you have a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. I know we've talked about forgiveness before, and the funny thing is forgiveness is one of those things that keeps coming around because that's how important it is. Many times we think, oh, I'm good, or we wonder why things are happening the way that they are, and we realize when we stop, we think, and we realize, you know what, maybe I haven't forgiven others. Right here, Paul just said, bear with each other and forgive one another if any of you have a grievance against someone. It doesn't say you get to choose who it is. It just says if you have a grievance, forgive as the Lord has forgiven you. God's forgiven you. You should forgive them.
Mrs. Doubtfire teaches us that compassion often requires courage. Courage to face difficult situations, to forgive and find creative solutions, to stay connected with those we love. Part of the stuff that's going on in my life right now, I've been hurt recently by someone that I cared deeply about. And what they said to me hurt me. I carried that. Well, Jason can verify this. Anytime he came around and me and him talked, I would talk about this specific thing that was said to me. And that kind of thing that was said, it's not something you easily get over. But sometimes, basically what was said was, thank God that I wasn't a father. Or I didn't have any kids. That kind of stuff, because God knew what he was doing. That kind of stuff hurts so bad on a physical level, on an intimate level, that no one can possibly comprehend unless you're in the situation. You have to have courage to forgive somebody for when they say something like that. And you also have to have compassion.
Yeah. None of which are easy at all.
No, not at all.
Unfortunately, we live in a broken world, and I've heard this many times, and I know you've said it many times. Go ahead. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Go ahead.
People hurt people.
Absolutely. And it's hard. especially because hurt people, and then those hurt people want to turn around and hurt those people in return who want to, it's like tennis where you're just going back and forth. And really, like tennis, it's useless. Can you tell I don't like tennis?
No, I had no clue.
The point is, we're called to forgive
As much as we
of everything. And that is so, even if you don't want to, there's so many, we've all been there. We've all had people who have hurt us, things that, oh, I should have said this, or I wanted to say this, you tried to knock me down. Well, I want to knock you down. But the truth is that really didn't get us anywhere. I mean, look at, obviously, Jesus is our ultimate example. Look at what was said about him. Look what was done to him.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he still died on the cross. He didn't say, God, these people don't deserve this. Instead, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. God, this hurts. But they don't understand why I'm doing this.
Right.
And at the end of the day, like what's helped me through life, especially in the last year or so, what's helped me with forgiveness is just keeping in mind that no matter what anyone does to me is nothing compared to what I've done against God.
Yeah.
And if God has forgiven me, then I can forgive others. I don't want to at all times. Most of the time, many times I don't want to. But it's not a matter of what I want. I'm not the one that determines, I'm not the one that determined the standard to get to heaven. I'm not the one that makes the rules. God's the one that says, here's the rules. You have to forgive. Because if you don't forgive, then I'm not going to forgive you. Your mistakes are greater than anything anyone can ever do to you on earth.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, okay, I can forgive. Now, God's patient with us. It can take time. It's okay. God doesn't, expect you to have someone say, someone to say that to you and then expect you to immediately say, I forgive you. Like, you know what I
That's
mean?
not how it works.
Yeah. God allows us to have that time. That's okay.
Just as long as you're not harboring
Yeah. Yeah. As long as we're working towards it, we're not harboring it, then yeah, absolutely.
Let's.
But
Oh, sorry.
through all of this, I was just going to say, through all of this, Mrs. Doubtfire teaches us, it's a heartwarming reminder that true compassion goes beyond words. It shows in our actions the lengths we're willing to go to care for others. Everything in the Bible comes down to the two commandments, these two commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your mind, and love others.
Yeah.
If you can love God and love others, everything we do, if it's a way to show God that we love him, if it's a way to show other people we love them, hey, then we're doing something right. And that's what it's about.
Yeah. And sometimes loving others is hard.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to a little Q&A, Jason. I got some questions here.
All right.
All right. Sorry. You got a question for me, a couple questions for me, and I got a couple questions for you. So, what's your first question?
How does Home Alone illustrate the biblical principle of courage and protection?
Home Alone shows Kevin's courage as he defends his home against burglars. His bravery reflects the biblical call to be strong and courageous, trusting that God is with us in our challenges. as seen in Joshua 1:9.
Yeah. Let me ask this. What lessons about stewardship and respect from creation can we learn from Jurassic Park?
Jurassic Park reminds us the importance of respecting life and the natural order. Let's be honest. We do not want real dinosaurs.
No.
It's a bad idea. The film's cautionary tale about playing God with nature echoes the biblical wisdom about stewardship and the consequences of our action. Yet we still do stupid stuff like trying to achieve cloning.
Yep.
I'm going to leave that
Stay
out
away.
there.
Please stay away. Absolutely. And we know Mrs. Doubtfire, teaches us about how to show compassion, especially in challenging family situations. As we were just talking about, we need to forgive, we need to find ways to stay connected and all that. So, I would encourage our listeners, if it's been a while since you've watched one of these movies, go out and watch one of them or all three. We can watch Home Alone outside of Christmas. It's a classic. Jurassic Park. It's a classic.
I hate to tell you this, but Hobby Lobby already has Christmas out. The season is here.
I should have known.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
I mean, we're 4.5 months away from 4 months and 10 days.
Sir, nobody wants to hear that from you.
Just saying.
Yes. I know how you feel. Turkey first, then the Santa Claus.
Yes. But I know most people aren't like me. They like to plan for Christmas now.
I am calling.
Just give me my Thanksgiving.
I am going to say this now. November and December, because we're only going to be doing a few podcasts during that time. We are doing Christmas movies. That is going to be
okay.
Yes, Queen.
I'm perfectly fine. All right.
Okay. This week
I
we've
think
explored.
we need to conclude on that note.
This week we've explored the themes of courage and compassion through Home Alone, Jurassic Park, and Mrs. Doubtfire. These films show us that courage and compassion often go hand in hand, leading to growth, connection, and deeper understanding.
Yeah. So, as for our viewers, as you know, we've been really offering challenges for each week. So, for this week's challenge, we want you to identify a situation in life where you can show courage and compassion. Not just one, but both. Show courage and compassion, whether it's standing up for someone, forgiving a past hurt, or just going out of your way to help someone who's in need. Do something this week to embody these values.
Thanks for joining us this week's episode on GeekTheoCast. We hope these discussions have inspired you to reflect on courage and compassion in your own life. Until next time, I'm Steven.
And I'm Jason. Stay strong, stay compassionate, and keep living those 90s values. And as always,
stay geeky.
Excelsior.
Oh, stay geeky.
Oh, yeah. Stay geeky.
Stay loved. Excelsior.
There you go. I was just really excited to say Excelsior. All right. Well, we love you guys. As always, stay connected. Discord, Facebook, X, wherever we're at, YouTube. And don't be afraid to reach out. We're a community and we're here for each other. So we're always praying for you guys. If y'all need anything, just let us know.
Except money. We don't have any money. We can't help you out.
That's true. But if you have money, you could feel free to send it our way so we can improve, our equipment.
We can improve our equipment.
Won't turn down money.
Go on business trips. If you guys want to donate to a specific place you'd like to see us go and give our reaction, just saying, Japan, Tokyo, Disneyland, D23. Six Flags over Texas.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm there. Fiesta, Texas.
Universal Studios.
Hey, if y'all send the money, I would love, like, send us money to go to Six Flags. I will ride any roller coaster at Six Flags.
Okay, so
Legit.
here's the question.
If you find a roller coaster and you're like, that looks dangerous, I guarantee you I will ride it.
Okay, so here's the question. Let's say somebody donates the money for us to go to Six Flags in a couple weeks.
Okay.
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 But they do not pay for the traveling. Will you still go?
I would. I love a really good roller coaster, especially the faster it goes and the more inversions, times it goes upside down. I'm there.
I gotta lose a little weight.
Yes, I'm there. All right. Well, get to it so we can go, because I want to go. Anyways.
Any case, let me turn off YouTube.